Well, let's talk about what happens when syndication fails. So syndication's having some challenges, and it's always related around cash flow and reserves. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So you run out of reserves, you hit up all the investors syndication. Hey guys, we got to have a capital call. Vote on it. These all end in the same place. Whether the capital call gets voted down or the capital call gets voted for, and they don't raise them enough money, it all ends at the same place, and that is liquidation.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in a liquidation event? Well, it's a couple of ways. It could be a forced liquidation, like the $300 million deal that fell apart here in Houston. Bank went in and foreclosed, wiped all the equity investors out.
Right.
Now, when they take that property auction, if there's any additional proceeds, then they'll send it back to the syndication. But how most deals work is the first person that gets paid. So we've got to liquidate this thing, whether it's a fire sale or a foreclosure, which is technically a fire sale. First person that gets paid is the bank.
Yep.
First lien position, they get paid first.
Sure.
The second is the construction company.
Take a step back.
Okay.
If we're getting foreclosed, the bank takes over.
Oh, yeah. They take.
You don't get to set the price, the sales price.
No. They take it to auction.
They'll take it to auction, and they just want their money out.
Yeah. Yeah. They're taking it to auction.
Yep.
So, this and some of these deals get so big, who else is going to buy it, right? Like it's pretty tough. So, all right. So first lien position, that's your bank gets paid first. The second one's a construction company. So when I was talking about that $300 million deal here in Houston, there's a guy that owns a construction company and said they owe us $2.5 million.
1.2.
Or $1.2 million on construction.
Right.
He's going to get paid second.
Yep.
So construction gets paid second. And
if it's there.
If it's not there, okay, then you go to the next one. The next one is what I love. Catherine puts it this way. This is the legal term. Loans from managers and affiliates.
Yes.
So everyone's like, well, what does that mean? Really, it means your general partners.
Right.
So if you're having some challenges and it takes 30 days to raise the money from the capital, to vote on the capital call, another 30, depending on how your operating agreement's written, then another 30 days to get the cash in. You got a 60 days of carry where your reserves are already relatively depleted.
Yep.
So now you've got the managers, which is really the general partners, are lending back to these syndications.
Right.
Now, here's where it gets funny. A lot of folks will say, wow, well, that's kind of a good deal if you're a general partner. I'm like, no, it's not, because in the operating agreement, I'm not buying any more equity. I'm putting in debt, and that debt pays me like 10 to 12%.
Right, 10%.
Which is not stellar, right?
Nope.
So now you've got loans from managers and affiliates.
Because that debt can hang out there forever. It's not a good deal.
The debt could stay there forever until you refinance.
Yep.
Anyway, so then the next folks that get paid their money back, remember, we're just talking about paying the principal, not paying their paid-in capital back, are the limited partners.
Sure.
So limited partners get their money back. GPs get their money back, general partners. And then there's this line, and that line is profitability. Well, who gets paid first if it's profitable? Below that line, it's going to be whatever your documents say. And most of the time, it's the LPs get paid first through a pref, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a preferred return. That goes back to the LPs. Then the GPs finally get paid after that. So I have heard investors say, well, I'm an investor in this deal, having all these capital calls and these other problems, but, I'm going to get made whole. And I'm like, no, you're not.
No.
Like, what's happening is the managers and affiliates are lending back to keep this deal afloat, and they're putting their money ahead of yours. That's all in your operating agreement. Like, this is not like some spooky Jason, where did you hear this from, internet guru. It's
you
like,
must be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, call your attorney, call your securities attorney and ask him how it works.
Right.
So what ends up happening is the managers and affiliates, which is really the general partners, and it could be some other the GPs can go out and raise fresh debt just to keep the deal afloat. And that's going to put your...
And preferred debt too.
Yeah. And preferred. That's right.
Yep.
And that puts the priority of getting paid down to the very end.
Pushing all the way down. Yeah.
So